AG Pam Bondi releases Jeffrey Epstein files in long-awaited document dump after warning the files were pretty sick. Now, the day is finally upon us. They finally released some of that Epstein information. We've been waiting so long for this. A little bit underwhelming because supposedly we only got the first tranche of information. And the New York office hasn't given us all of the information supposedly, and the FBI director Kash Patel says he's on it. He's going to make sure they release all of the information, and the people that are holding back the information is going to be held accountable. Supposedly. So we'll see. But we're going to talk about all that. We're going to talk about some of the information we do know. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from the Daily Mail, and they report that Pam Bondi began phase 1 of releasing the long-awaited mistress files related to pedophile financier Jeffrey Epstein Thursday evening. The first wave of documents have largely been circulating in the public domain for years, and so far are yet to include any new bombshells. That's why I called it underwhelming. This is information that we already knew most of this stuff. What you're going to see hopefully tomorrow, she says, is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information, Bondi told Fox on Wednesday. But it's pretty sick what that man did, along with his co-defendant, referring to Ghislaine Maxwell. The officially declassified material included flight logs, Epstein's infamous contact book, an evidence list, and a masseuse list in 10 different links post to Department of Justice websites. The contact list, which has previously circulated in various forms, I've reported on a lot of these names already, show redacted information for dozens of Hollywood political and fashion elite. Now this just makes it official. Names who are in the address book include Mick Jagger, Michael Jackson, actor Alec Baldwin, Ethel Kennedy, Andrew Cuomo, Naomi Campbell, and Courtney Love. Both Harvey and Bob Weinstein, the late Senator Ted Kennedy, actor Ralph Fiennes, I don't even know who that is, Alan Dershowitz, John Kerry, Dustin Hoffman, Donald Trump's late first wife Ivana, and daughter Ivanka Trump are included among the contacts. The president himself is not listed. The Justice Department posted the files on its website late Thursday, along with the note explaining their significance. It said, quote, "The first phase of declassified files largely contains documents that have been previously leaked but never released in a formal capacity by the U.S. government," the note said. The small batch of documents included copies of flight logs from Epstein's private plane, as well as the photocopied address book, which was purportedly compiled by Epstein and his longtime confidant, Ghislaine Maxwell. Personal contact information was redacted throughout the list. The Justice Department also released a blacked out list of over 250 masseurs. An evidence list included the document dump showing entries for more than 150 items, including nude images, massage tables, sex toys, and other items. There wasn't any indication whether the list was from Epstein's case, Maxwell's case, or some other investigation. Bondi has teased the documents during a Fox News appearance on Wednesday, declaring breaking news right now. You're going to see some Epstein information released. Again, this was very underwhelming. Very underwhelming. The Justice Department said it was making the documents public to show its commitment to transparency. Bondi suggested in a Thursday letter to the FBI Director Kash Patel that more records were recently discovered. She ordered the FBI to hand over the full and complete Epstein files to her by Friday morning and directed Patel to, quote, conduct an immediate investigation into why her order to the FBI to turn over all documents was not followed. President Donald Trump, who was in office when Epstein was arrested, suggested while campaigning last year that he seek to open up the government's files. Pedo billionaire Epstein took his own life in jail, supposedly, if you believe that story, on August 10th, 2019, awaiting trial for sex trafficking and other heinous crimes. The well-connected financier kept a wide circle of friends, from fellow billionaires to politicians like Trump and Bill Clinton, and entertainment icons. Epstein flew numerous well-heeled friends to his private Caribbean island, Little St. James, where some of them sexually abused children. You know, again, I've been reporting on this stuff for years. You can see some of the pictures here. Let's check out some of the pictures we got here. Okay. Aldridge, here we go. And look at this. The list of the masseuses or masseurs or whatever you call them. It's all blacked out. All blacked out. They also put out an evidence list showing entries of more than 150 items, including nude images, massage tables, sex toys, all that other stuff. Okay. Many Americans have been waiting for the lengthy FBI investigation files to be released publicly after Trump promised to do so before he was reelected. The case has drawn widespread attention because of Epstein and his former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, links to royals, presidents, and billionaires. And Maxwell herself is the daughter of the late British media tycoon Robert Maxwell, who owned the New York Daily News. Y'all know I've talked about him for years. I think he was taken out. I don't think he died from a boating accident or what have you. I think he was murdered. Over the years, thousands of pages of records have been released through lawsuits, Epstein's criminal dockets, public disclosures, and Freedom of Information Act requests. In January 2024, a court unsealed a trove of documents that had been collected as evidence in a lawsuit filed by Epstein victim Virginia Jeffrey, and I've reported on that as well. The unorthodox move followed other Trump administration efforts to empower fringe social media figures and highly partisan outlets that enthusiastically support him at the expense of the more critical mainstream media. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, this week announced her office would pick the outlets in the rotating press pool instead of the White House Correspondents Association. Sure enough, fringe right-wing influencer were almost immediately included. Now, this is according to the Daily Mail here in the outlets. Anyway, today at a briefing room in the White House, they said I was handed a binder with the first release of the Epstein files by Attorney General Pam Bondi herself, Cross wrote. Only 15 binders were printed, given to 15 independent journalists, now included in a growing press pool where influencers like myself will be granted equal access to the president and the White House. And I love that. I love that they are putting in diverse media. I love it. I love it. That way the mainstream lying media don't have a monopoly on everything. I'm all for it. Proof that a powerful shift is happening. Trump walked in and told us we were the most trusted media now, and that he counts on our efforts as the reason he won. Under his term, independent journalism will be briefed the same as legacy outlets are. Our inclusion has officially broken their monopoly over White House access. The era of controlled narrative is over. The truth belongs to the people. Thank you, Trump, for recognizing our hard work and taking us in. Bondi had promised to release on Thursday files about Epstein that would make people sick and include lots of names connected to him. Why do they keep repeating themselves? Well, I think this is I don't know why they keep repeating that. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm just going over, like I said, we're going to go through this entire article here. However, she revealed many records were not given to her by agents and were being kept at an FBI field office in New York. This is what I was just alluding to earlier. Who has the power to do something like this? Where the Department of Justice, who the FBI is under, tells them we want all the records and you only released a small amount of it and you're still able to keep your job. Like how I don't understand. They don't have to listen to the Department of Justice. This is absolutely ridiculous. In a blistering letter to the head of the FBI, Kash Patel Bondi wrote, I learned from a source that the FBI field office in New York was in possession of thousands of documents related to the investigation and indictment of Epstein. Despite my repeated requests, the FBI never disclosed the evidence of these files. The existence of these files. Bondi's first tranche of papers on Epstein's pedophilic sex trafficking ring were released on Thursday, and Republicans are not happy. Rather than publishing the documents directly to the American people, they were given to a group of conservative influencers who visited the White House. Again, why are they repeating this? And those eager for evidence to connect Epstein to prominent political figures and business leaders were disappointed to find barely any new information was included in the phase 1 release. Didn't we already go over this? I don't understand. Why is the Daily Mail repeating itself here? So I'm gonna skip all. Let me see if is there any new information here. It's weird. But the Attorney General accused Patel agency of hiding thousands of documents related to the investigation and demanded the rest be turned over by 8 a.m. on Friday. So y'all best believe I'm gonna be looking to see if we got access to any of that information. But she admitted in the letter that Patel was, quote, just as surprised as she was to learn about the trove of undisclosed information. So is Kash Patel really running the FBI? If he not know, I mean, who is really running the FBI where a field office doesn't have to do what the director of the entire FBI says? Are you serious? The pro-Trump lawmakers were also up in arms on Thursday over how the files were first released. Ahead of his publication, a binder was circulating the West Wing with the title The Epstein Files Phase 1, and known names in conservative media were the first to get their hands on it. Rep. Anna Paulina Luna, who is leading the White House Oversight Committee Task Force on declassification of federal secrets, was furious that her panel was not able to review the files before they were turned over to a handful of media personalities. I have no issue with that, though. I don't. As long as the information is out there, I don't care who gets it first. Just release the information. Yeah, it's like this is two separate articles here, because they're definitely repeating themselves here a lot. But y'all get the point here. I think I pretty much covered it all. Let me see if there's any new information here. Epstein's death was ruled by the medical examiner as a suicide by hanging. Even his brother don't believe that. But lawyers for Epstein have disputed the ruling as public skepticism over the death grew in recent years, resulting in numerous conspiracy theories. The possibility of pursuing criminal charges died along with Epstein. So a judge dismissed the case on August 29th, 2019, less than 3 weeks after he was found hanging in his jail cell. Dismissed it mighty quick. British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell had a decade-long association with Epstein and was convicted in 2021 on federal charges for sex trafficking after she recruited young girls for the pedophilic ring, as well as child sex abuse and prostitution. Her procurement for Epstein included bringing into the folds of the conspiracy a 14-year-old girl. Her procurement for Epstein included bringing it into the folds. I'm repeating myself. Epstein had a private jet that he logged 600 flying hours on each year, usually with guests on board as part of the manifest. The Boeing 727 was nicknamed the Lolita Express by locals in the Virgin Islands because of its frequent arrivals, allegedly with young girls on board. Lolita has multiple meanings, including a term for a young girl. Sick stuff. Epstein's private island called Little St. James is in the United States Virgin Islands, southeast of St. Thomas. He owned it from 1988 until his death in 2019, and nobody really knows where all his money come from. Like, he went from being a teacher, remember, and he was teaching and he had no absolute certifications, but it was a private school, so you know, with private schools you don't really have to have any type of certification to teach. But he was a teacher with absolutely no certifications, and then become like some real estate mogul, tycoon, investor, all overnight type stuff. Like, it's crazy. He definitely, I believe, was a spook. I think he definitely was some work for some type of intelligence. More than likely, he worked for Mossad. And he was a Mossad asset that would entrap powerful people, is what I think was really going on. But there y'all have it. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this, and we're going to continue to be covering this like I've been covering this for years. Hopefully we'll end up having some new information, but leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.